decided to delete all my social media off my phone for a whole week, like every single other Gen Zer on the internet. Where did this come from? Where did this go? Where did this come from? Okay, this video is basically inspired by a tweet by the YouTuber Hannah Elise. I'll insert it here.
And I took that personally.
So, I've decided that for the next week, today is Saturday, for the next week, I'm not going to be able to go on social media on my phone at all because I want to regain control over this little muscle memory that goes directly to my phone every time my mind is unoccupied for a single second. I'm over it. I'm really, really over it. I used to be so good at being with my own thoughts. When I was younger, I could do that for hours, like long car rides, no problem for me. Today I have the attention span of a goldfish, and really this little rectangle of doom is the reason for that. So I know I'm not the first one to ever do this, I'm definitely not the first one to ever do this, but I kind of want to see for myself what I can actually get out of a week of not going on social media. I'm going to lay down some ground rules for myself. So I'm not going to delete social media off my phone. I'm going to move all my social media apps to a specific folder, and then I'm going to move that folder away from my main home screen. I'm going to colour it purple because purple means poison and that folder is poisonous. And I'm going to basically train myself to not be able to go into that folder and touch none of the apps. The reason I don't want to delete them is I kind of just want to train myself to be able to have access to these apps but to not tap on them. Because I think that's more sustainable than just deleting everything, because we all know that we're not going to just not have social media. I'm not going to allow myself to check emails on my phone either, because that gives me the same kind of dopamine rush as checking social media. So no emails, I can only check them on my laptop. And basically I'm planning to do in the times where I feel like reaching for my phone, I want to kind of just take a step back and potentially think about what else I could be doing with that time, because I feel like my time has just been robbed by this tiny little square. It's not a square, it's a rectangle. My life belongs to this and I'm sick of it. That's basically it. So I'm going to be documenting all the ups and the downs of this thing that I'm doing for this whole week. Enjoy. Let's see if we're still alive by the end of it. Hopefully something good will come out of this, but yeah, I will see you in my first update log. I just made a post on Instagram just before I'm supposed to delete all my social media apps and go offline for a week. And I never post on Instagram. I mean, I have one. Here it is, if you want to go check it out, which I guess defeats the purpose of this whole video. Don't go check me out on Instagram. Bad. But I made a post, and now I can't check it for a solid week, which is how many hours? How many hours is in a week? For a solid 24 times 7 hours, I cannot check this thing. This is going to be an interesting week. So it's not even been 2 hours since I got off social media, but I just wanted to document how the fact that I actually posted on Instagram just before I went off, I kind of feel very good about that post in a way that I don't normally feel. I feel like the fact that I haven't been able to go in and check how it's doing all the time has kind of made it more mine. Instagram is such a weird thing in that it's supposed to be this collection, at least for me, it's supposed to be a collection of moments that I want to share, or that I kind of want to share with myself as well. And it's nice to have it feel like it's for me as opposed to for anyone else. It just makes me feel happy with it when I haven't had that kind of external input of what everyone else thinks about it, or how many likes it's getting. That's not relevant, which is just kind of an odd thing that I thought I would document, but now on with the rest of my day. I take it back. I have a massive urge to check my phone and my notifications. But I'm not going to, because we're literally only like 2 hours into this challenge. I'm gonna do it. But for some reason I just want to check, but I can't. I'm not. Let's go out instead. Okay, so I'm headed out right now, but I'm actually going to put my phone in my bag rather than keeping it in my pocket because I don't need to have it in my pocket. So she's going to stay in my bag. We'll see how that goes. It is the end of the first day of this experiment thing that I'm doing. I'm about 6 hours in at this point, and I thought I would just do a little update. Not that I have all that much to say yet, but here we are. Here's my phone. And the only reason why I have this here right now is because I've written down a list of things over the course of the day that have stood out to me. One of the things that I wrote down was counting cars at the bus stop. So when I was waiting for the bus back to my apartment after going grocery shopping, I would normally be going on my phone, and I did not do that. So instead I ended up just sitting and counting all the cars that were passing by, and kind of, because where I am in Germany is very close to the Swiss border, I was counting the amount of German cars and the amount of Swiss cars and just kind of noticing that. And I realised that's something that I used to do when I was younger as well, like as a child. I don't know, it was just like such a simple thing to do, but it kept me entertained. Not being on my phone all the time kind of also made me a bit more patient. I wasn't constantly scrolling trying to make time pass, I was just kind of spending it looking around and noticing my environment and just kind of existing. It just kind of felt like, okay, well, time's passing and I'm passing with it, if that makes any sense. I did notice when I was out today that having my phone in my bag wasn't necessarily the most convenient thing, even though I wasn't using it to check on social media, just because I use my phone for other things other than social media as well. So it was like things like checking bus times or even using it to pay. Kind of inconvenient to have it in my bag and not in my pocket, but it was also kind of nice just to have it like in my bag and not like constantly like on me. I did kind of feel naked at some points. Weird enough, it felt like I'd forgotten my keys, which was odd because my keys were in my pocket but my phone was in my bag. But yeah, I'm hopeful for tomorrow. I'm quite excited to see how I'll be feeling about all this tomorrow because, as I've said, I am only 6 hours into this thing. Tomorrow I'll be 12 or more hours into that thing, so that'll be fun. But for now, I'm really enjoyed this first day of being unplugged from social media. Okay, can we talk about the fact that literally the second that I turned off the camera, I picked up my phone as if to check social media before I like caught myself. We're doing great so far. Okay, so it is the end of day 2, which in my mind I keep thinking it's Tuesday because of this, but it's literally Sunday because I started on a Saturday. Confusing, but it's the end of day 2. There's nothing much to report from today. I mean, I've kind of noticed the lack of social media and kind of not being able to check on my phone, and the kind of few times that I have picked up my phone, I've had to sort of derail and do something else. I found myself like obsessively checking the weather on my phone, just because that I picked up my phone, so I needed to do something with it, apparently. I really do kind of want to break the muscle memory that goes to immediately pick up my phone whenever I have nothing to do. So that's kind of, I think, what I'm going to try and focus on. But I guess it's a good first step that I'm not actually going to check on social media when I do pick up my phone. The only other thing about today was I'm finding it kind of weird for it to be so silent in a way. Whenever I like eat, I tend to watch YouTube, and whenever I then finished eating, I would normally go on my phone to kind of bridge that gap between watching something and moving on to something else, but not having that gap kind of made the silence that followed watching something kind of more palpable. And so, I don't know, it didn't feel creepy or anything like that. It just kind of felt very like profound. And I guess it's just kind of something that I should get used to, because obviously it's silent where I live. Like, I live by myself, it's quiet. But that was just something that I should maybe start to embrace the silence rather than kind of fearing it. Do I feel more connected with myself? I don't know. I have found that it's actually quite nice to do menial tasks such as doing the dishes and going to the bathroom without my phone and without having anything playing in the background, just because like I found myself before kind of feeling like I needed to have something in the background. Almost like it made me feel less alone, but now I've kind of found that it's nice in a way, because it's such a short period of time where you just kind of get to be alone with your own thoughts. And I think a lot of the time we don't actually give ourselves time in our modern society to actually like process stuff that we see and like experiences that we have. Having those like pockets of time where my mind isn't occupied by anything because it's like a menial task, but I'm not listening to anything or going on social media, it's kind of giving my brain the opportunity to catch up with like the experiences that I've had during the day. So that's been kind of fun. It's only the end of the day too. We'll see. I may be still going strong by this point. I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, so day 3. I've actually had a really productive morning. I felt like intensely productive and that I was just getting stuff done. It is currently about 1 p.m. and I don't know if this is because like a lack of social media kind of thing, but I'm finding the silence very like crushing. I think normally at this point when I've got so much done and there's not really much else for me to do today, I would normally just kind of sit and mindlessly watch YouTube and kind of fill the space with like noise that way, but everything's just very quiet. Like I didn't even listen to music while I was working and it was great, like it was fine. But I've decided that I'm gonna go outside, I think, because I haven't been outside today. I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna bring my book and I'm gonna sit down on a bench and read for a bit, just to feel like I'm doing something and that I'm not just in my room, because it's quiet in there. I don't know if like the silence is something that I need to get used to or if it's something that I can just accept I don't like. I don't know, but for now I think we're gonna go and read a book on a bench in the outside. Decided to leave my phone in my room this time, like fully in my room. It's one of the first times that I've actually left my room without having my phone on me, and it feels very weird. On the other hand, like I don't need it. It feels kind of freeing as well to just sit and read without having my phone literally in my vicinity. I'm able to just kind of sit here and listen to the birds and enjoy. Day 4. It's Tuesday, day 4. Yeah, okay. Day 4 of no social media. I just went up to the library, the university library, to return some books, and I now have about 10 minutes until I have a class, but I'm not entirely sure what to do with that time, because normally I just sit and scroll through my phone for 10 minutes, because what else are you supposed to do in 10 minutes? I guess I could read.
Is near, let's get right up. Walk up to the very top. We couldn't tell the sky from the ground. I know my life will never be the same after that day. You wrap me around your fingers and
Okay, so I just survived my first and only class of the day. I'm not normally a person to like go on their phone whilst they have a lecture or during a class, but this particular class is just, it's so technical, and like I'm not all that interested in this class. I don't know if I'm going to continue with it, but that's beside the point. Whilst I did kind of notice that I was like more attentive, and like even if I wasn't really interested in like the content, I was kind of focusing on the German, but there were times where I was just kind of lost, and as much as I wanted to pay attention, sometimes my mind just kind of does wander, and that's just kind of a thing that it does. And I think sometimes a way that I can focus more is to have something to do with my hands, because that's just sometimes the way that I process things, is by not paying direct attention, like not looking at something and having something else to occupy, like my hands. So I have an idea. I thought I would just do a quick note on my intentional consumerism, intentional media consumption that I've been doing. So in addition to just staying off of social media like Twitter, Instagram, I've also decided that I'm going to be like more intentional with my media consumption in general. So specifically when I eat, I tend to always have like a video on in the background and like be watching something. And I've decided that that's not necessarily a bad thing in itself, because it's what I enjoy, and why shouldn't I do what I enjoy? I think where it becomes problematic is where I start like mindlessly consuming content. So it's like I'll be watching something while I'm eating, and then suddenly I'll end up watching the next video that comes on, and then the next video, or my attention will start to like be sporadic, and I'll click off the video and just like scroll through my YouTube recommended. And I think that's kind of where it becomes like a negative thing for me, because one, I end up watching YouTube for way longer than I first intended, and two, a lot of the time I end up just watching stuff that I don't even really enjoy. And so what I've decided to do, I'm not gonna allow myself to click on the next video. Say if one of the YouTubers that I'm subscribed to uploads and I want to watch that video while I'm eating breakfast, that's great, because I get to eat and enjoy something that I've been looking forward to, which is a good thing, even though it's like social media technically, but it's beneficial. But whenever I then watch 15 other videos after that, I don't actually give myself the opportunity to actually take a step back and appreciate what I just watched, which was like what I wanted to watch in the first place. I found that when I have that like restriction of only being able to watch one thing while I'm eating, it's like I can then step away from it when I'm finished and kind of still think about it in my head and like appreciate it more. So it makes me enjoy the thing that I'm watching even more when I'm not like over exposing my attention to like all these other videos. Something that I wanted to note that has been quite beneficial for me actually, and I think I'm definitely going to keep doing, even potentially after I'm done with this like social media detox week. I don't know. I just got back from a super nice walk. I didn't bring my phone or my camera or anything, it was actually just me and my keys, which was so nice. I went further than I thought I would as well, because I was just enjoying it so much. Like, as you can see, the sun is like fully out today and the weather is so nice. And I don't know, I feel like this week has been about reconnecting with your thoughts, but also about reconnecting with the part of you that doesn't think, which is like the part that just kind of experiences and exists, which is really what I felt I got out of that walk. Was just like, I was just looking around, listening to all the sounds and seeing all the sights, you know. I feel like my soul has been like rejuvenated, which is dramatic, but I don't know, I don't think I do that enough, and it made me think of when I was younger and like as a child, how you notice all these little things when you're out and about, like how the trees sway in the wind, or how like there's a branch on the ground, if you step on it, it makes a sound. Like those kind of little things that are just kind of experiential rather than like thinky. But I just kind of wanted to document how that was really, really nice, and I feel replenished. It wasn't like a meditation, it was just more kind of existing and enjoying the existence as a human being. It has officially been a week since I've been on any kind of social media, except for YouTube, but that's different. It's actually been a week and a day, because today is Sunday and I started this challenge last Saturday. It's actually been 8 days and I feel great. I don't really miss social media at all. If I'm honest, like the only thing that I've really missed kind of is going on Instagram to check up on like some of the YouTubers that I follow, but I thought I would just go through how my week has been and what I've kind of got out of this. A recurring theme throughout the week was basically whether or not I felt like I was reconnecting with myself, like getting back in touch with myself, and I really think I did in a way. Like I feel definitely more comfortable being alone with my own thoughts, which wasn't actually as scary as I thought it would be at the beginning, like once I got used to it. Now I'm just kind of like, I'll happily go do the dishes without having anything on in the background. I've also found that my thoughts aren't nearly as like loud as they tended to be in those like spare moments before when I didn't have anything on, because I'm spending more and more time alone with my thoughts. They're kind of becoming like more quiet. So in that sense, yes, I think I have reconnected with myself a bit more. I just feel more like me, if that makes sense. So the other thing was, were there any negatives to this week? I think the positives way outweigh all the negatives. Like it's been so nice to kind of feel more in control of like me when I'm not constantly subjecting myself to the internet and being connected to other people. Like I found this kind of very comforting simplicity to the way that I can spend my time, which has been lovely. And one important thing was actually I did at times kind of break the rules a little bit, not in the sense that I didn't go on Twitter or Instagram or any of my social media apps, but I did at times end up mindlessly scrolling through YouTube, which was one of the rules that I set for myself. There was 1 or 2 times where I actually broke that rule. I think what was important from that was kind of like, it was okay, like I'm human. It's okay to break the rule. Just the way forward would be to kind of like accept it and just not break it again. I didn't get down on myself for doing that. I don't know how I'm gonna move forward exactly from this. I think I'm definitely gonna keep doing the intentional like video watching thing. That's been really, really useful. It's breaking that cycle of constantly wanting more content if you learn to kind of appreciate the content that you are consuming. I definitely think I'm gonna start using social media less, because I found out that I don't need it as much as I thought I did. I don't think I'm gonna go on Twitter again for a while, because that's one thing I've not really missed. Like, I enjoy going on Twitter because it's entertaining, but it's like, it's not very fulfilling, and I haven't missed it, so I don't think I'm gonna do that for a while. I have found that I've been like more attentive to things, like my attention doesn't jump as much as it used to. That's been basically my week of no social media. I've enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And I'm dying a little bit at the moment because I'm actually quite scared to go on and check social media again now. Go to the scary purple folder, and we're gonna click on, let's do Instagram. Okay. No, I don't want to turn on notifications. That's one thing, I don't have notifications turned on my phone at all. Really, for any social media apps, because then I have to actually like consciously click into the app to see the notifications, which is a lot nicer because it stops me from like craving that constant validation from just like turning on my phone. Turn off notifications, that's a pro tip. Okay, well, that's been a week of no social media. I've now checked it for the first time in like over a week, and it feels so weird. I feel like I've reached my own personal bubble that I've made for myself over this past week, but I think I'm gonna try and like learn how to live in harmony almost with my social media consumption. I don't think I'm gonna live completely without it, because it does have its benefits, but it has also been really, really nice to just kind of not be on it for a good amount of time. So for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspired you maybe to try out your own version of a social media detox, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!